All right, let's end it with the beginning. Wait, you know what I mean. Ginger snaps back. The beginning. So this one's totally out of left field. Filmed the exact same time as the second one. These were both released in 2004. And wow, I respect the film. Very ambitious and gutsy. Like, kind of the undertaking of doing this period piece in 1815 and then taking these two characters from previous films and not explaining it all, like anything, just being like, nah, it's just this two same characters, but they're different. Like, it's the same sisters, same names, same actresses, but now they're just set in a different time period, and none of the events of the first or second film happen, and they have no prior knowledge of any of that, and they're just totally normal humans in the opening, and then one of them, just like in the first movie. It's almost like a reboot, is basically what it is. It's like a reboot of the first one, but it's a period piece. That's, I guess, how you could see this movie. This movie just feels so cheap. It just feels so cheap. It's of course ambitious and doesn't really have the budget to be so ambitious, but it goes for it, and I'll respect it for that. And I think there's some cool things. By far the best scene in the entire film is when Ginger opens up the gates to the colony and like 10 werewolves come storming in. That's a cool shot. The werewolves look great. If you had that many werewolf costumes, though, you could have utilized them and shown them much more in the film, in my opinion. But maybe every time they show them, it's more money. Who knows? But they made all those suits. Might as well use them, right? So yeah, they're out there. Their parents drown, I think is what they say. And they are found by a hunter, played by this Native American guy. And he brings them into this colony. They are brought in. They're tested for lycanthropy, and by leeches. And I guess leeches will turn into like were-leeches if they bite a werewolf, and they'll like get really big and engorge themselves and turn vicious. But they pass that test, and there's some kind of like a hinted at romance kind of thing going on with the sexy hero hunter guy, which is kind of explored upon a little bit, but not really. I don't know. Then they are put in this place, and Ginger goes around, and she finds basically the kid from Midsommar, the like deformed inbred one or whatever the fuck that thing was. And this, of course, bites her, scratches her, which turns her, of course, into a werewolf. Now, if you watched my previous review, I was very excited to talk about the nudity in this, so here we are again, my time to shine. We see some kind of like side boob and butt action in this from Catherine Isabel, but because of her body double that she used in Friday the 13th, Freddy vs. Jason, the Friday the 13th franchise, is I think what I was going to say there. But seeing that, not seeing her face, I have to assume she used a body double again. I don't think Catherine Isabel has shown her body in anything that I'm aware of that isn't a body double. So correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe that is her, but I don't know why the girl wouldn't show herself. She's fucking stunning. I don't know, but you know, that's her right. She don't want to do it. She don't gots to. And then Brendan Fletcher is brought back as well, as just kind of a random role, and then he's like the first one to be noticed as a werewolf, and he gets shot in the head. So cool to see him for like a couple minutes. We get to see this like peyote trip that Bridget goes on, and I'll say my favorite shots aesthetically of this film is all that peyote stuff, or whatever the hell. It's a peyote type of trip ish. I don't know what the hell it actually is. It's probably not anything real anyway, but she goes into like the red and white world or something, whatever they call it, and while they're in there, she sees like her sister's demise, and then we're dealing with prophecies. This girl tells her about the prophecy. I fucking hate prophecies. I fucking hate them in movies. I think they're so stupid. I don't know why. I always roll my eyes anytime it's like, the prophecy states blah blah blah. Ugh, prophecy. Ugh. It's just such a lazy writing tool to me. Like, because it always ends up basically being true, although in this one they do break the prophecy, which is rare. But I don't know, it just always feels so uninspired. I don't like prophecies in films. But when they said that, and I was thinking about that in the moment, I was like, you know, it'd be fun. I've never seen anyone outside of the first, and I do own all 5 of them, is the Prophecy franchise with Christopher Walken. Because I was saying that I'm running out of films to review in series of the horror genre, and outside of like real shitty ones, like, you know, fucking the bloody murder movies, or, you know, there's a lot of shit franchises for sure. Or even ones with some good ones and a lot of bad ones. Like even the first 2 Killjoys are dreadful. But then I really like the next 3 Killjoy movies. So it's a very weird franchise where part 3, 4, and 5 are super fun and part 1 and 2 are god awful. Very, very bizarre. I don't know any other franchise like that, but maybe the Prophecy films will be coming eventually. Kind of reminds me of the Hellraiser franchise. Same company. I think, yeah, anyway. So then, yeah, I mean, Bridget is kind of like betrayed because once she wakes up from this dream, I know I skipped real far ahead, but I don't really have much to say else of what happens in there outside of like that guy who has his kid down there, and then he makes like a bargain with them to keep it secret, and then he ends up being the one that saves them in the end and then kills himself and his kid. So I guess there's sort of something to say there, but I didn't really find it all that interesting. So I'll mention it really quick, but I don't know. I mean, if my kid was changed like that, could I kill my kid? Could I sacrifice them to the people, even if I was like telling everyone they should kill any werewolf they see? Probably. I'd probably be a total hypocritical prick. It's my kid. It's different, right? It's different for us. And that's how anybody would feel. They'd be totally hypocritical when it comes to their own kids. In fact, that's typically how people change their minds, is because of their kids or someone in their very immediate friends or family or whatnot. You know, this happens in politics. This happens all over the place. Like it doesn't matter to people until it affects their life. You know, they're not gay rights. They're not for gay rights until you find out their daughter's gay, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, I'm kind of advocating for gay rights now because it's close to home. So it's the same thing here. It's just like, well, kill every werewolf. Well, unless it's my kid, then werewolves aren't that bad. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. We love our kids, man. We're hypocritical idiots with them. And then Ginger shows up to this like township or whatever the hell it is, and she shows up like Luke in Return of the Jedi, coming to Jabba's palace for his friends. And I liked that. And then she lets all the werewolves in after she slashes that guy's neck. And then they make this pact together forever, as they say to one another. Everyone dies. They're freezing outside, even though they're right next to an entire community blazing on fire. And she's like, I'm cold. And it's like, and they literally show, like, then they do another shot after she says, I'm cold. And then her sister's like, I'm not. I'm fine. Like, I'll survive and you won't because you're human and I'm a werewolf. And then they pan over and they're literally right in front of an enormous fire. And I'm like, you could just go a little bit that way and you'd be a little warmer. Yeah, it's not going to last forever. And yes, she still takes the curse from her. They put their hands together and, she takes her ability to heal and to become one with nature. So they're going to be wolves out there hunting. And so overall, it's whatever. I don't care for this one much. This is my least favorite of the 3. It just feels so cheap is my biggest issue with it. It feels like, they wanted to do this and that's cool. And I like the swing. And I like some things about it. But overall, this just isn't a franchise I care for much. I've said it before, and I'm done with it. I'm glad I revisited it, but I can't say I would have any interest in watching any of them again. So I own them. And I bought them specifically through this watch through. So I probably spent what, $45 to watch these things one fucking time and never watch them again. Who knows? Maybe I'll watch the first one again or something one day. You never know. But until now, or until then, but for now, I think that's where I was going with. Anyways.